In the old days of Hallonesh, the Pale King had an elite force of warriors to protect him and the kingdom in heroic battle. This group would be known as the Five Great Knights. They were well revered and respected, and the band of warriors would be well recorded as a group, but much less individually. It was known that they fought in what sound like intense events like the Battle of the Black Worm, Champion's Call, and the Knotted Growth. It would appear their identities were not public knowledge, or that they were just poorly recorded, as Relic Seeker Lim points out that there is essentially no historical evidence of who these people were. However, the knight can learn about the 5 individuals that made up the 5 Great Knights by talking to Nailmaster Shio. It seems that he had met them at some point, as he knows their names and personalities. The knight can find 2 of the 5 still alive in Hallownest, and finds the corpses of 2 others. Drya can be found in the Queen's Gardens, where she died defending the Queen of Hallownest, the White Lady, from an onslaught of beefed-up mantises. Shio refers to her as fierce, while another knight mentions how he misses her wisdom. The White Lady also mentions, if you have the Defender's Crest, that although Drya had a hard front, she was still one to be caring. In the rural waterways, the knight can find the corpse of Isma decaying in her grove. Isma presents a lot of mystery, as we're not sure of her abilities or how she died, but we can assume that both may somehow involve plants or acid, as she is surrounded by both in her grove. She seems to have been more powerful than some of the other Great Knights, and had a close relationship with one in particular. This would be Ogrim, or as we know him in-game, Dung Defender, one of the 5 Great Knights to have survived the infection and into the game's events. Ogrim was known to be the most loyal of the knights, but during the game's events it appears he had been outcast from the group before the fall of Hallownest. He took a great interest in Isma, possibly becoming obsessed. During the game's events, he has sworn to protect her grove and has seemingly gone mad in his solitude, having no idea of the fate of the other Great Knights. It seems he became somewhat of an outcast over his obsession with Isma, as Shio does not refer to Ogrim by name, instead electing to call him the other one. The other living knight would be Zemer, or as we know her in-game, the Grey Mourner. You may remember her from your favorite part of the game, the Delicate Flower Quest. She comes from a land outside of the Kingdom of Hallownest known as Land Serene, where she brought the delicate flowers from. Her flowers are indeed mysteriously powerful in that they have some ability to absorb void. At some point, Zemer found love in the Mantis tribe, specifically the daughter of the Traitor Lord. The Mantises did not approve of this relationship, as they were literally xenophobic, so the two were unable to see each other. Eventually, the Traitor Lord's daughter would die. Finally, there is one Great Knight that is entirely unaccounted for during the game's events, Hegemol. Shio refers to him as mighty, and it is known that despite his large size, he was often soft-spoken and humorous. At some point, a maggot steals his armored shell, and it is unknown whether Hegemol escaped without it or was murdered in the process. All in all, Hegemol's whereabouts are unknown, Ogrim is insane, Zemer is depressed, while Isma and Drya are dead, so things turned out just great for the 5 Great Knights.